Hello everybody, my name is Elenator and welcome back to Ultimate Minecraft Polyworld, episode 440, day 6293. What was the last thing I was working on over here? Is the farm finished? I don't remember. Apart from, missing a whole bunch of the seeds and stuff. And what happened there? Was that cobblestone supposed to be there? I feel like no. I don't have water on me. Alright, close enough. So, I do remember trying to clean up this area in particular. And I feel like I should do a better job at that. So let me grab a little bit more. Oh man, but this side's all messed up as well. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to level that right there. All that needs to come down. And looks like Chunk does not want to render under all circumstances. Hello. I wonder if there's anything important down there. Probably not. I just see some caves. Wonder... Oh, the block museum wouldn't be there. Are there different biomes here? This is a desert, and this is a forest. I noticed the sky changing color and thought that was kind of funny. Alright, everyone. Give me your slime balls. Alrighty, so which one has dirt? Those two are empty, so that means we're looking at this one. But first, let's catch some Z's, reset the weather timer, as I pull more dirt out of here. Alright, so what we're looking at is mostly the same of what I did over there. Excuse me, pig. Howdy, Koski, welcome back. So we're gonna first fill all this in. Howdy, Paul, I'd appreciate if you sent it our way. We're getting back to triple digits over here. Fahrenheit, of course. If it dispatched today, then that means they're making sure that it'll arrive to you on time on release day. Oops, probably not those. Alright, so I'm thinking cutting off the top layer, probably cutting off the second one as well. So all of this can go, at least on this area. Power of the shovel. So that can go, and then yeah, I think I will shave this down one more, and then this is what I'll build up to. If not card stock variant, what would the regular version be? Standard paper. Alright, so I'm looking at probably placing dirt down before I dig up the stone. Alright, you gotta go. I can understand the preference, the material preference. Excuse me, pig, I'm working here. There we go. Alright, so now let's bring this all down. As I pick up more dirt that was left behind. Oops. Yeah, I'll just leave that there. Fill the rest of this in. The way this is shaped, though, doesn't feel natural enough. I'll probably fill this in. And then in doing so, that'll bring all of this part forward. Just looking at this from an outside perspective, it gets rather thin here for no particular reason. Well, this is a psychology for you where manga works better on a phone screen. Personally, though, I don't know if I'll ever invest extensive amounts of time to reading on a mobile device. Alright, so yeah, I'll just need to dig up all this stone. I feel like being grayscale is probably the biggest factor for that, because it means contrast is proper. There we go. Look at all this ugly dirt. Maybe what I'll end up doing is filling it in straight across. Still have plenty of dirt on me. Because it feels weird to have this all built up. Then you have this weird line here. And then goes up to there. If I were to say from here, everything from this point backward. And this one, currently these are right angles, but I'm gonna curve them out after. I'm gonna fill in all the difficult stuff first. And then I'll figure out what to do afterward, as I currently don't have a plan. But that's okay. I'll probably take a look at the bounty board, see what else I can do on there. Or I could go back to digging the hole. The thing with me and playing Minecraft is if I don't have a plan, I don't know what to do. Eventually I figure something out. For these streams, I'm required to figure something out because I have to fill 2 hours. 2 hours on average for standard episode. Bit bad at having a plan or bit bad at going in with no plan. Some days I have inspiration, plan a world and do stuff. Other days I look at it and think, I don't know what's next. Oh, that's all the dirt I had on me. It's a feast. I feel like there was something I saw not too long ago. There was a post that had a bunch of ideas on there for stuff I could build. Problem is, I was looking at inspiration for my beta 1.8 world, and that post was made maybe 2 years ago. There are a lot of concepts on there that would not have been able to be applied to the world I wanted. The first thing I saw in there was a giant snow globe with a comedically small house. Bye-bye. At some point, it'll be nice that all this terrain is cleaned up and smoothed out. Just one more block. Alright, there we go. Now it's hard to tell there was a chunk border here, other than this side is generally higher than that. But it's much cleaner. And then of course you head over here, then it's obvious. But that's alright, because now all this has been taken care of. Do I want to curve that back a little more? Nah, I'll leave it. I don't remember how much dirt I had on me. We're gonna keep whatever we have in the shulker box for now, because I think I have more dirt to finish it off. Sky Islands haven't crashed the game since 1.13. Or these aren't the Sky Islands, these are my end of floating worlds. I had issues with the Sky Islands from beta 1.9. Very well could be a liquid thing. Extensive amount of air and liquid turning into source blocks. I'll still need to compare a 1.13 world to 1.12 with fluid mechanics. Because I remember on my 360 world, when I got the 1.13 update, I had a lot more source water in my farms that didn't used to work like that. So I'm pretty sure they changed the, or I should say they increased they increased the different ways that you're able to make source liquid, at least source water, in 1.13. And we sleep. And I want to check the calendar real fast. Aha! Next Tuesday. I would say next Tuesday is a big day, but not really. I'm probably not going to do anything special. But I talk about June 24th all the time. Okay, so yeah, that one's full. What about this one? Now it's full. Five shulker boxes plus the rest of the double chest. This one's now empty. Both of those are empty, but I guess this is all the dirt I have. There we go. Alright, all of that's now been condensed. I have extra fences that can be put away. At the end, not for 1.0.15. Alright, organization. One of these days, perhaps we'll get buttons automatically, or buttons that automatically sort chests for you. I miss inventory tweaks. The last time I got to enjoy it was 1.12. Pretty sure I went around and organized a bunch of my chests then. That was a while ago, though. I have to do it again now. I say a while, but that was only earlier in part 4, a few months ago. And then I forgot arrows. Arrows are warehouse 1, but hoppers are warehouse 3. Oh wait, I think I was planning to do something with the bricks. We talked about this last week. Oh, you're right, is another brick pyramid, perhaps. Small scale one. They're the hoppers. I remember grabbing 2 because I didn't know how many hoppers I would need. And then it turns out I ended up having 1 extra that didn't need to be made. Oh well. Oop, while I'm in the area, grab another half stack cooked bacon. Those hoglins, I would totally have a hoglin area if I could. But unfortunately, as much as I want the leather and the cooked bacon, I don't have that luxury. Alright, so, in fact, while I'm here, let me investigate just how many bricks I have. 6 shulker boxes of bricks, plus a fair amount of slabs, plus over a single chest in there. And then brick stairs, I want to say I have a separate chest. It'd be nice if one of these days I went through and reorganized my whole system, because I have some inconsistencies. Sometimes I keep stairs and slabs with a block, sometimes stairs and slabs are separate, are within separate chests. But we'll see. I'd basically have to keep track of everything that's in a chest now. Here are my stairs. 52. That's not substantial enough to keep track of. Alright, so if I am indeed going to make a brick pyramid, then I'll be doing that. I feel like I want to use the bright red for something else, though. How much mossy cobblestone do I have? I think I have some, but not all too much. And I have this ground tiller sitting in my hotbar I don't need. How would I put that away real fast? What did I say? Oh, mossy cobblestone. I was thinking, what was I doing again? So I have 1 double chest worth of mossy cobblestone. That's a fair amount. I'm trying to think. What did people used to build back in Classic? That's kind of what I'm wondering. Oh yeah. Now y'all get to see the full block model that I set updated. This is also the old texture as well for the smithing table. Wonder if the UI was different. Maybe I should go back and check. Alright, well, anyways. So other than that, what exactly? Oh, you know what I could have done? Hold on. I might have another use for the bricks, which is gonna be not fun for what I've already done, but at the same time. Hold on, I'm gonna have to see whether or not it's gonna look good or not. Because it occurred to me, wait, what if I use the bricks for something else? We've got some traveling to do. You know, one of these days, I might do some more surviving here at the survival test area. I'm very happy with how this turned out, and I'm glad I got to reuse it in beta 1.1. playing without any text. I still have a sign somewhere in here. You know, I don't remember where the sign is. Somewhere inside that house, I believe. Did I want to keep this one tree? Did I really clean up every other tree here? Oh, I guess I did. Oh my gosh, all the green bean explosions. Do I not have... Oh, I do. I never put stairs in here. Doesn't make sense. Well, we did have stairs in beta 1.2 or beta 1.1. Anyways, not important. Let me pass my hi, hello. You know what? I should have put a howdy. I should have put a howdy around here. And looks like I never fixed the glass. Because the trees instead of 327, the leaves deleted my glass. And that made me sad. But anyways, we're still heading off in the direction of where I want to be. Because we're going to the Zelenako. I have some investigations to do real fast. You know what? While I'm here, we're going to check on the bee farm. And we're going to see whether or not I'm able to get another bee. Because I'm pretty sure we're still only at 8 bees. Maybe once we get to 11 bees, I'll try to find more nests. I'm still hoping, kinda, until 1.17. Because 1.17, I'm going to need to explore a new area to get all the 1.17 stuff. But let me grab the rose bush real fast, and that, and the bottles. So yeah, currently we're at 8 bees in here. Oh, hold up. Alright, we're now at 9 bees. Hooray, hooray. Alright, what we're gonna do with all this real fast, we're gonna combine. I think I kept those up there. Not important. Well, time to update the bee count. I'll use my hand, I don't want to use it. Hey, they fixed the animation. Fixed the animation for signs. Because for a long while, it wasn't there, and that's because the cracking animation was applied to the block, not the entity render of the sign. Anyways, now we are at 9 bees. Hopefully this means I slightly increase the amount of, I slightly increase the honey production rate. So with all that taken care of, here's what I was thinking over here at the Zelenako. Hold on, I gotta get there first. You know what? I still think I should do a parking lot. I don't know what to make it out of. Some sort of... Do I want stone? This is already made out of stone. Do I want concrete? If I really wanted, I could lay down a whole bunch of black concrete. In fact, I could even use white concrete for lines. Make it really look like a street. Or a paved parking lot. But anyways, I was thinking, what if I replaced the logs? I feel like this won't end up looking good. But what if I replace the logs with bricks? And we're also going to need to sleep. Because then I could get a big refund on every single log I place down. But I feel like building the shelf, not of bricks, the support is not going to look good. Alright, let's catch some Z's, reset the weather timer, and then I realized we need to come back here with lamps. Lamps and torches. I didn't finish lighting up there. I don't know how much I'll need. We'll see how many lamps I currently have. If I'm feeling it, I could just lay down another stack. Create another stack of lamps. Should have plenty of torches, I hope. If I really wanted, I could also make an elevator. I got 2 options. old school piston where it pushes you up one layer at a time, or there's slime blocks where pistons push slime blocks that make you bounce on up. I don't know which one I prefer currently though. Yeah, well, either way, I'll still take care of that later when I'm feeling like redstone again. I'm still in a construction mood. I'll need to see how much glass I have and sand. I feel like I dug up a bunch of sand at one point and then I turned it into glass. But then I spent most of that glass already. That's not a lot of glass. That's not a lot of sand. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna gather all 3 of these. In fact, if I really want, I might even make more. Oops, hold up. In fact, why don't I do that? Why don't I make lag spike as I cross the chunk further? Why don't I make a couple shulker boxes dedicated for sand? And I'll bring it all back here. Then eventually I'll cook it up. In fact, I still have a lot of coal, right? Oh yeah, I got plenty of coal. So what I'll probably do... Yeah, I think that's what I'll end up doing. Making some shulker boxes for all this. Anyways, one thing at a time. So I needed redstone lamps, which are in the other warehouse. And then I'm going to use my trusty shovel for a while. Now the thing is, I'm currently at 1707 durability. What I might end up doing is passing by the Enderman farm. Almost at the end island. Passing by the Enderman farm and seeing how we're doing. I got 3 red dust lamps. That's not going to power miracles, so we're going to make another stack real fast now that I have more red dust. At least I think I do. Pretty sure I ran out on here twice, maybe even. On my beta 1.8 world, I currently have a lot of redstone though, so that's nice. You know... Well, yeah, if I'm supposed to replace the whole thing, we'll just go for it. Torches. I'll grab all these torches because I'm pretty sure I don't have that many. I remember when I used to have so much more glowstone in here, and then I made many lamps. Alright, let's head on back. Let's go light up the shelves that are currently completed. I think I'm around 2/3. If I remember my progress from last week, I should be around 2/3 of the shelves constructed. Alright, so then that means, what do my notes say? Thumbnail and optimized world. Those are notes for after the stream. So we're going to place down the lamps, go straight to the end, repair the shovel, create shulker boxes, and then go over to the beta 1.8 area, because I'm pretty sure I have a dedicated desert over there, where I have no problem digging up as much sand as I want. So that's what we shall be doing. In fact, I think I'll even take the ender chest with me. I don't know how many shulker boxes I plan on constructing. You know, if I do turn a lot of the sand into glass, maybe I will take those extra 3. But we'll start with creating new ones. Alright, so let's see. Where did we end off? Somewhere up here. think it was you. Yep, alright, so... It'd be nice if I made this jump. Hey! I did it. It'd be nice if I made this jump. Ah. Only worked one time. So it's lamp, lamp, log, lamp, log. Lamp, log, lamp, log. Well, that's an easy way to keep track. I'm not gonna make this jump, I'm gonna hit my head on the ceiling. Boop. Oh wait, hold on. I missed one. Oh, I got more shelves done than I thought. We might be closer to 75 or 80%. Lamp, log. Lamp, log. And a zoop. At least if I don't make the jump, I'll make it onto the second level. Wow, that's so much easier to remember. Oops. There we go. We're now halfway done with the lights. And I've already spent, what, 24? Yeah, I've already spent 24 lamps. I kind of didn't realize how expensive this would be. Wait, hold on, it's back left. No, it's back right. I started... Hold on. I did something wrong over here. So this is correct. The lamp should be... From down here, the lamp should be on the back left. Let me make sure it's like that all the way down here. Nope, I done goofed on this one. On this one. Hold on, how did I do this? Okay, so the far left, that's what we're looking at. If I'm down here, alright, so we done goofed straight up today. Everything I placed down today. No, this one's right. Oh, I see the error. So yeah, correct, 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 correct. So it's log lamp, log lamp. That's where I done goofed. If it's not this one, this is where I done goofed. Alright, well, let's try again. Log lamp, log lamp. Oh wait, hold up. It's not time. Let me just place this down real fast. This is what happens when you do opposite corners and not every corner, like I usually do. Because if it's every corner, you just know if the corner doesn't have a lamp, place one down. But it doesn't work like that. It's if the corner doesn't have a lamp and it's one of the defined corners. There's a green bean on that shelf. I saw him. Okay, log lamp, log lamp. Oops, neither of those are right. Thankfully, I didn't get through all of the lamps on that side, because by that point I would have decided, well, guess I'm just gonna start all over. And probably, at that point, I would have had more incorrect lamps than correct lamps, so I would have just flipped the pattern. Oops. We did slightly too long to jump. Now I see why it's like this, because I didn't want to put the lamp over the ladder. That's why I thought it seemed a little weird. Me of the past was smarter. Well, at least all that's now corrected. And I think I only did the one shelf over here. Oh, am I going to want to mirror it? Because if I don't want the lamp over the ladder, then that means this one's going to have to be mirrored. Whatever. I'll mirror the lights for the shelves. I'll consider them amenities. Yeah, I'm gonna run out of torches over there. At least I won't run out of lamps. And in fact, I might also have enough lamps for the rest of the thingy. The rest of the thingies. Shelves, that's the word. Well, that was fun while it lasted. But at least I'm only 2 torches short now. Well, that means I'm gonna have to make many more torches. Oop. Well, I'll take care of my redstone deficiency later. Because I have other stuff to do first. I want to focus on the sand, get the glass. Who's buzzing me? Nothing important. Alright, so I'll probably... I'm thinking how I want to do this. I don't have an optimal way of getting to the beta 1.8 area. Howdy, Ian. Welcome back. Yeah, I'll probably just go for taking care of everything here, including the end stuff first. Alright, so lamps are warehouse 3. Oh, in fact, while I'm up here, let me decide how many shulker boxes I feel like making. I want to say 4. That's 2 double chests worth. You know, here, we'll do the math. So let's say 2,000 uses. Here, we'll put my calculator real fast. So 2,000 uses for my shovel, right? I divide that by 64 stacks, or 64 in a stack. That's 31.25 stacks worth of items I can pick up. And then divide that by... There's only 27 slots in one shulker chest, or one shulker box. I only need 2 shulker boxes. 1 plus 1.5 or 1.6. 0.16. Well, is it even worth making the shulker boxes? I could use them for the future use. But seeing as I did not have as much as I thought I would, let me find my shulker boxes. Alright, so I have 23 shells. I think I'll still make the 4 anyway. I'll make the 4 boxes. Yeah, it turns out I don't physically have enough durability on the shovel. So here's the question. How many other shovels do I have? See you later, stack of planks. Oops, wait, that was... Oops. That's okay, I'll hold on to those for now. Gonna need some yellow dye. And shovels are here because I put the tools before the armor. Oh, I have a moderate amount. This one has mending, this one has soak touch. So I'll keep those there. We're gonna grab these other shovels and use them up first. Down stack into just one. Guess that cannot combine yet. Alright, so let's go grab the other stuff. The yellow dye is what I'm looking for. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so then here's a question for my calculator. So I do 1,500. Divide that by 64 stacks. So each of these shovels is only going to be worth less than a shulker box. So truth be told, if I were to bring an ender chest with me, which hopefully I might have. I don't know if I left an ender chest over there, but I'll take one anyway. So between the 4 shulker boxes and the ender chest, this will provide plenty of storage space. So what we are going to do is pass by Zelenako again, and then we're going to come back here. You know what? The portal's right here. I'll put the chests down later. What do I need on me? I guess I have everything. In fact, hold on. A doink. I'm hoping the speed refreshes right before I go in. Go, go, go. Thankfully, I don't have to waste time eating food. I have plenty of stamina. Doop. Alright, what we're going to do, in fact, here, we're going to leave the bed here. Boop. Respawn point set. That way, when I pop out of the end, I'm right back here at the stronghold. Because this will provide me faster access to the portal, to the nether portal, so that way I can go straight over to the beta 1.8 area. I'm pretty sure that's still where I decide to keep my area of sand collection. I'll just need to make sure I pick up the bed before I leave. Excuse me, thank you. Let's grab the boat. Huzzah! Do 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 do. As we sail the ice highway. One day, perhaps, I might put up some decorations. Because staring at the ice and cobblestone is not the most interesting thing. Oh well. And zoop. Alright, so I'm looking for probably the iron sword. And this is the part where I turn the audio down. I wonder if I still have the Enderman bait up top. I haven't looked and checked inside the minecart in a while. If the Endermen keep falling, then there's a good chance I do. Ow. Who dare deal damage to me? I wonder if it was from the sweeping edge, and it just wasn't enough to take him out entirely. Yeah, we're gonna make sure the shovel's all nice and repaired in its entirety. I don't need that pearl. It'd be really nice if we could condense ender pearls into blocks. Even if it was purely decorational. And it really comes down to, I have so many ender pearls, and they only stack up to 16. They take a massive amount of storage space. I don't need that. If I can condense 9 of them into one block, one decorational block, I would. And as long as that block stacks up to 64. Because in that way, I'll just condense the amount of storage space required. And zoop. Come on, you're almost there. 2028. That's 3 years from now. Hooray, got them both done with the one hit. Coolio. Alright, see y'all later. Alright, now I'm ready. We says the Smashing Pumpkins in 1979, I think. I don't know when the song came out. That's the name of it. Oh, you know what? When we get to the end, I'll need to make sure to turn the audio back. Or, how would I just do it now? Boop. Excuse me, y'all. Don't mind me just passing on through here. What I'm probably going to end up doing is trying to sleep in the bed at the Stronghold. Reset the weather timer. It'd be rather unfortunate if it started snowing when I exited the beta 1.8 area. Zoop. And I saw darkness. Oh, in fact, hold on, I think I'm sleeping towards the wrong direction. We sleep facing west. No, wait, the Zella Moon rises. I was right. We do sleep facing east. Oh well. Away we go. Yeah, the speed boost beacon here in the Nether would be nice. One of these days, I will go out and find a good fortress and just take out all the Wither Skelly bums. What I'm probably going to end up doing is looking up a 1.16 plus tutorial for Wither Skelly bum farms. I don't think I'll do a full-size one, but I'll want to understand the concepts for maximizing Wither Skelly bum spawning. Grab the bow. Almost said the bow. All these stairs. Climbing up all these stairs would be tiring in the real world. I was at Universal Studios not that long ago, and they have the upper lot and the lower lot. And I climbed most of the stairs going from the lower to the upper at the end of the day. Oh boy, I was tired. That was exhausting. I didn't make it to the very end like I wanted to, but I think I did the first several flights other than the very last one. So I got through most of the stairs. But yeah, that was tiring. If it was early in the day and I haven't done much walking before then, I probably could have made all of the stairs, but that was the end of the day. We already went on everything that we could, because there are a few things not open. Sad times. And so, I was definitely already tired by that point. But I made it. Hooray. Howdy. Again, half an hour later. More like 44 minutes. Okay, that should be the monolith. This is beta 1.2. And so the next area is where we get off at. What food did you have? Usually when I have food, that's my time when I watch stuff. Chicken and rice sounds good. You say 26 Celsius. Hold on, can I do this on my phone with one hand? Trying to convert the current temperature. Doo-doo-ba-doo-ba-doop. We're gonna hope I don't miss the exit. but I have 3 of them. So the chances of me missing all 3 is rather low. I can't find where the settings are. There is a change. There's a change to the UI stuff, and they ended up making an adjustment to the. Oop, there's my exit. They ended up making an adjustment to the weather UI. Oh well, this is taking too long, and I'm already where I need to be. Anyways, point being, it's currently 87 Fahrenheit right now. I have yard work to do, but I'll do the yard work later. Wait, is this the beta 1.9 area? I can't remember. 40 by the end of the month? Hooray, I did count correctly. Sounds like summer's hitting y'all as well. I should say summer in the northern hemisphere. Oh wait, hold on, I have a minecart. I have my entity.writable minecart.name that I don't use all that often. And I have all these rails that I need to fix up. Yeah, I ran out of rails. Every time I'm over here, I say I need to fix this. Maybe today's the day I fix it. If all my sand is in the shulker boxes, I don't have to worry about carrying it around. I guess you'll find out if it hits 40 Celsius, if 40 Celsius comes around. We're still only at the start of summer. That's not true. I'm pretty sure summer starts the 21st. Man, look at all this flat sand. I've totally been here carving out the area. Let's see, did I ever leave an ender chest over here? For some reason I thought I did, but maybe that was only temporary. We are halfway through 2025. No, we're not. We're halfway through 2025 in about 2 weeks. After summer already starts. Alright, I guess I'll just start digging up here. Since that area is already mostly flat, I'd rather optimize the amount of collection. Oops. Alright, well, I'll just start laying these down. Alright, diamond shovels, you're up. Your time to shine, because I don't use diamond much these days. Now the diamond has been plated by titanium and gold. It's gonna be so nice when I get to use my next shovel, the good shovel, because I'm realizing how slow this is relative to Instamine. It won't be entirely Instamine though, because sand likes to fall. That's gonna cause slowdowns. But hopefully that will prevent, or at least minimize, invisible blocks. Good part about sand, you can never have invisible floating sand, because the sand's gonna want to fall. Other stuff like dirt or cobblestone, that will be floating. Netherrack is likely candidate. We need falling blocks to be mineable. You don't mine entities though. You deal damage to entities. Except, I saw that. How dare you? How dare you delete my sand? But you deal damage to entities, but falling blocks are an entity you do not deal damage to. Alright, let me... Zoop. Pretty sure falling blocks are already their own type of entity. I don't know the hierarchy for entities. But you have stuff like the regular entity. And then subclasses would include things like falling blocks, items, minecarts, item frames, paintings. And then some are even farther, you would have stuff like mobs, where they have AI and stuff. Or do support their own AIs. For what purpose would trying to mine a falling block serve? It's nighttime already. Good thing I slept before the journey. Minecraft the journey. Alright, see you later, son. This is Ella Moon Rises. At least it's about to. You're gonna have to define the definition of LLM again. Because if this is a term you made up with, it's not gonna stick around within my brain. There we go. Eyes turn red. You can go to bed. Large learning model. Trying to call how often I hear that term. The first thing that came to mind was LMM, Lost Minecraft Miners, but there's no way, because that's LMM, not LLM. And I couldn't get past that. We're gonna combine. That doesn't speed up the process. Oh, hello. Hello, good sir. Where's your captain? He is here, right? There he is. Were they following the leader? Is their AI designed that way? Because if so, I would not have anticipated that. Where's the banner? The only reason why I take these guys out. I did consider bringing milk with me, but I decided against it because I figured if I needed milk, I would just drink it when I got home. There aren't any villagers around here. Even if there were villages, this is beta 1.8 terrain, and there would not be any villagers to have the possibility of starting the raid. At some point I'll start a raid, I don't know when. It would need to be at a village I don't care about. I forgot the little springs, little underground lakes used to generate in deserts. The ominous potion is how you get the effect, right? Because that makes me a little sad. The reason why it would make me sad is you chose to attack the pillagers, and so now only those who really want to deal with the raid stuff have to deal with it. I wonder if they wanted to give more use, though, other than one-time dealio. And so they implemented, that's why they implemented it into the trial chamber. Isn't there something in every major update for the past while, or even minor updates now? Isn't there something in nearly every version these days that makes the game easier somehow? I feel the sneeze coming. Can I pineapple this one away? No pineapple for me. Pretty soon here, I'm also going to want to start filling up the shulker boxes. At least one of them. There was something, I can't remember what it was called, some sort of dedicated group that was focused on video game accessibility. And there was something going around, either rumored or confirmed, in regards to Doom: The Dark Ages, that the reason why they changed the names for the difficulty settings was because of the video game accessibility group. And so after 30 years, they finally changed the difficulty setting names, if I'm remembering correctly. I'll need to look back. Point being, I wonder if there are other, or if Minecraft has its own form, or also has its effects for accessibility and whatnot, beyond just game UI. The specific part of accessibility for changing the name of, I want to say it was Hurt Me Plain, no, not Hurt Me Plenty, it was I'm Too Young to Die, was the primary example given. And within the list shown was something about not having any difficulty settings be labeled as the correct or incorrect way, or if there would be any not confusion, any sort of preference as to this is the way the game should be played. This is the recommended or not recommended difficulty settings. Something like that. It's already been several weeks, so I don't remember all the details of the post. I'd have to go back through Twitter again. The version I started playing in, and howdy, welcome back, was 1.2.5 for PC. Earlier that day, I started playing Pocket Edition. I can't remember. I can never remember what version. Somewhere around 0.3, 0.4 was the latest at that time. See, that's what the people were saying as well. That, like, it was meant to be ironic. But, you know, there are players out there, I should say there are people out there, who don't like being told the recommended way to play the game. Or the recommended difficulty setting. These sticks are probably going to steal more slots. Hopefully I don't have too many dead bushes to get rid of. I'll need to go back through the whole list again. I still want to play Doom: The Dark Ages, and then I'll better see the design difference for myself. I just haven't had the time to fork over the money. I'm still focused on getting my own game out the door. I have to deal with all the legal business stuff next. Boo! I want that to be done this week. Because in that way, since the game itself is essentially done, it should be rather fast to go through all the Steam stuff. Alright, so we're looking for probably more sand this way. Pretty soon I'm gonna swap shovels again. Oh, I'll take that, thank you. Why are those command block replicating stacks back in fashion? I totally remember those because I had a created world way back in 2015, 2016. I used a couple of those. Minecraft is all about inclusion and accessibility. I'm pretty sure they said on one of their Minecraft lives within the past few years. If I made note of that, it would be somewhere within my very extensive commentary on the Minecraft lives, because I went through all of them the end of last year and took a lot of notes and a lot of, so this is when that changed. Sun's going down. Back to, let me move all this over. Pretty sure colorblind accessibility is one of the reasons why they changed the ore textures. The ore design, I should say. So that each of the ores had a different shape to be distinguished from one another. Alright, time to go to bed. Good thing the under chest was there, because I saw the light before I saw the stuff. Maybe I'll put down a couple torches. Now, with how often, or I should say how easy it is to acquire milk to get rid of the effect, as well as the possibility of having the pillager captain die not by your hand, it is rather easy to avoid getting the effect. Or I should say, having the effect start a raid. And now they've removed the possibility in its entirety, as you would need, as it was your choice to get the effect afterward anyway. You know, so much for not wanting to dig up stone. I'm starting to get tired of digging up all the sand. Hopefully, I use up all the diamond shovels first, because I know once I switch to my titanium one, it'll go by much faster. Just like eating a cupcake, eat the frosting last. You gotta save the best for the end. Alright, so I still have a few more stacks before my inventory is filled up. Wondering if I should start moving somewhere else. Or I guess I could try to get rid of this whole layer here. You know, after this, I should check my sand digging stats. Once I use all the shovels up. There's a sheep over here. Must have wandered far, because I know they only spawn in grass. But once this is done, I should check my sand digging statistic, because I'm gonna want to know just how much I've cleaned up. Well, I should say how much sand I've dug since 1.7, I think. I think that was the last time the statistics reset. Truth be told, I don't remember. Would you like to repeat what the pretty insane thing you said about Mojang employees? I'll take that, thank you. Move that down. Hooray! +1 inventory slot. In fact, why don't I put the sticks up here? You don't use sticks on anything. Sticks, along with bones, feathers, flint. All that stuff is safe to keep in your offhand because you can't interact with anything. If you had something like string in your offhand, you would attempt to place a string. Place it as tripwire. This sheep must have really wandered far because now he made it up here. Thought he was down there. Wonder if he's naturally migrating in a certain direction. Positive X, or I should say positive Z, negative X. I thought they fixed mobs generally wanting to pathfind into a certain quadrant. Maybe this is before they fixed it. Because he's on a mission. I don't know where he's going though. Maybe he's just trying to find some grass. I don't know if sheep actively search out for grass though. I always thought sheep just wander around, and if they happen to be on a grass block, then they try to eat it. Or have the possibility of trying to eat it. See, I'm not the only one who wants Noah used to say. 1980s Garfield. You know, Garfield was an IP I never really got into. I watched the animated film trilogy from late 2000s to early 2010s, I believe. I want to say I saw an older live-action movie as well. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that sheep is certainly traveling, because he really did go from that way, and now he's over there. Who knows where he will end up. Now that shulker box is done. With this filled up, I'm going to toss it into the ender chest. That way I know it's completed. See you later, sheep. You'll know if YouTube lets you say it or not if the message goes through. Let me toss all that. Clean inventory is a happy inventory. Clown tries to mess with him while he's asleep. Interesting. And now the sheep's back over there. I guess if he's drifting back towards positive X, the primary direction he's going then is positive Z. Maybe their AI is still biased towards certain quadrants. I don't know how that happens. Maybe that's due to the randomization preferring positive over negatives. That's a question for Java though. Wonder if Unreal has any direction biases that I'm unable to control based on any sort of randomization it uses. You know, the music, not biased in a certain direction, but it is particularly biased when choosing heads or tails. The seed I use for the music, the seed for procedural generation, really likes choosing heads more than tails, even when tails has a higher probability. I'll explain more of that in the developer commentary if y'all ever listen to it. I would not be surprised. Feels like something that would have been going around 45 years ago. 40 years ago. Swap that out. Okay, I guess I'll wait till the shovel gets really low. Any more sticks? Nope. Is it turning nighttime? Soon, but not yet. Another minute or so until I get sleep. Oops. Maybe the sheep is just lost. It feels like he's starting to head back home again. Head back to where he originally was. Because I know he's walking around this area towards the end of the cliff. Still don't know where he came from because there's not grass nearby. I'd probably have to reference old backups of the world trying to find when he first started. Yeah, I feel like it's primarily just primarily. I don't know what word I was about to use. I was gonna say accessible, but I don't think that's right. Primarily a feature in older variations or older versions. Huzzah! I fell out of my bed. Well, looks like I got through most of the sand layer here. I'm probably not going to do this next one, at least not with diamond shovels. I'm considering moving out to another place that has more sand, not at one singular level. Alright, sheep. Excuse me. I'm working here. Unrelated, but it's related to sheep. I haven't seen in many years a Pixar short Yesterday I felt like watching it again. Called Boundin' from 2003. For some reason, the song was stuck in my head after many, many, many years of not ever watching that short. And so, found it on YouTube, gave it a quick watch. I'm gonna try to avoid digging in that area because I don't know how much sand is floating. Floating sand would be not able to be recovered. Nope, the inventory's full. Mizzou? How are we looking at? 24. If Garfield knew that people were unable to know what he was thinking, I understand, because then they'll never know. Only for us, the reader. Alright, little more digging. A little more digging with the diamond shovels. Because this one still has to get lower. Then I have to combine the two, and then use that shovel up. To think that before enchantments is about as fast as you can go clearing out a desert. I do wonder though if the desert design changed from beta 1.7 and earlier. I wonder how deserts were classified. Well, if we had cactus generating originally before dedicated desert biomes, Notch still had some way to distinguish sand generation. Alright, let's just fill all that up. Oopsies. Alright, this area is just about a giant pancake. So let's head back over here. Venture forth. Because I might take the netherite shovel to this area. Maybe I'll start in this little section. For some reason I thought I saw a desert rabbit. But then I realized, why would a desert rabbit spawn over here? I don't know if they ever fixed passive mob spawning. Maybe they redid in 1.18 and it functions correctly. For all I know, however, passive mobs only like spawning upon world creation, or I should say upon chunk generation. A problem that started back in beta 1.8 and I don't know if it was ever fixed. I'm pretty sure by 1.12 it was still an issue. Alright, we're gonna combine. Nope, we're not gonna combine. Because I'm going back to the previous shovel. What was I saying? What was I saying about lakes? generating in deserts. I wasn't expecting that. There was no sign of it on the surface. And then I dig one block and zoop, we all fall down. Okay, maybe I should just leave the floating sand. Fruitless battle. Unless I want to invest a lot of time into it. That's not necessary though. Oopsies, that's not what I wanted to dig. One of his main catchphrases. Sounds like someone's interested in 1980s Garfield. Alright, now I think this might be... There we go. I wonder if I should move the shulker boxes in Ender Chest. That'll probably end up happening after my inventory fills up. Sounds like you did not put the can in a good area for the cat to knock it over. Do you normally let your cats jump into the cabinets? I feel like we did our best to avoid that back when we still had cats here. The lower cabinets? Oh, I see. Surely the can didn't fall very far then. Sun's going down. Time to catch some Z's pretty soon. Top shelf of bottom cabinet, big can. Oh well. Oh wait, you know what? Hold on, I know what I'll say. That's unfortunate. There we go. Kind of tomato sauce. Alright. I can now visualize. Because before I was thinking, I don't know, can of tuna maybe. It's been a while since I've had tuna. I'll make a tuna sandwich when I'm feeling it. I'm pretty sure we have still cans here. Maybe that'll be my lunch. And I think maybe you need to start wearing some... Oh wait, this is 6 years ago. Has your pain tolerance improved? If now I don't feel anything, then that means you've made progress. Hooray! You've leveled up since then. And boop. What do we have? About 25 minutes for the day. And my inventory's getting full. We can still get many more stacks out of the shovel, though. Alright, I think we're gonna pack up and move out. I'll go try to find somewhere else to start digging. Alright, so with this one full, now both of those can be packed up. Let me grab my Silk Touch pickaxe before I break the Ender chest with a Fortune pickaxe and then lose the goods. Let's go this way. How about that hill on the other side of the swamp here? This seems like a good area. This is where we'll set up shack. Alright, back to digging. How did a vacuum drop on it? Is it one of the regular floor ones that you roll around? Or is it one of the lightweights that you sort of hold? The electric ones that you charge? I guess all vacuums are electric. I wonder if there are any mechanical vacuums. Ones that don't require electricity. I feel like us as humans don't want to put in the effort creating the vacuum. Plus, there would also need to be a way to prevent us from having to go in the opposite direction. He lost his grip. Sad times. Is it having some issues because it was dropped? If it's losing suction, the easy thing to check for is whether or not it needs to be thoroughly cleaned. The hard part is, well, if the motor's dying, then at that point it's not worth replacing. Clean the filter, but what about other stuff? Alright, so my current game plan is to use this up very close to the end because I don't have any other use for the shovel. Oh, that means plus 2 free slots. Smells like hot plastic. Yeah, something in there is cooking that's not supposed to be. Alright, what are we looking at? 642? That's almost 10 more stacks out of here. I did see when you said stick vacuum before. I feel like those are generally not powerful enough for what I would want on an average usage. This one is for all the pet hair y'all have, and hopefully not as much human hair. Is there another cave here? Did I just cause another cave-in? I did. Alright. Who do you think you are? I say as I'm the one invading his home. Who'd want to live in a cave like this? Maybe this is going to be my next place I find red dust in. I get the feeling, though, this doesn't go down. There's a lot of cave over here. That means there's a high possibility of cave-ins. All that sand above me. Man, I don't want the bones and arrows. What is this, beta 1.2? I don't need this stuff right now. You know what I could do? I have some sandstone. Well, at least I'll say I could pick up sandstone. What I could do is put it underneath the sand. That will prevent it from falling. Because as long as there's at least some sandstone. Is that the old sandstone texture on the underside? Why does that not look right? Why does this look like a Joppa texture? I don't know if that's the lighting or not. I'm pretty sure that's it. The side texture is correct. Did I get pig step? How do I get pig step again? Anything other than it dropping from regular stuff? Because I'm pretty sure that's not how you get it. Maybe that's all sandstone, and I don't have to worry about cave-ins. I've not acquired pig step because I've only been to 2 bastions. Alright, here's what I think I'll do. We're gonna bail out of here using a very easy route. We'll just fill that in real fast. Alright, all done. So examining the ceiling, not the series, everything seems to be fine. Going back to pig step, it's not in a block, therefore I don't have any urge to try to collect it. I don't know when I'm gonna have long haul to the Farlands parts that are gonna require it. You know, the disc farm is for primarily the current long haul to the Farlands parts. Good thing I made that because turns out I was missing part 1. I don't know how that happened. Probably because it was from 1.4. So all the other records were already acquired. Get pig stuff because yes. Pretty sure that's not correct grammar. But I don't feel like getting pig step. Part of that, I'll say, I'm not a fan of it. 5 years later, I still don't care for pig step. I like Other Side much more, even though the music doesn't feel like what Minecraft is to me. But then again, the C418 music that does feel like Minecraft, most of that's already been replaced with Long Haul to the Farlands. Oh well. Nom 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 nom. Delicious bacon. Catch some Z's. Eyes haven't turned red. Maybe I'll just toss all the sand now. There we go. Can't say I know anything of Starbound, other than anything you've told me in one ear, out the other. Is that a pink sheep? It is, in fact, a pink sheep. I almost thought it was a pig at first. I had to come over here to verify. I know they're not super uncommon, but I thought that was rather interesting. And so, now I know. I don't know if I dyed him, or if he naturally spawned like that. I feel like years ago, back in part 3, maybe part 1, but there wasn't a lot of part 1 that I could have dyed a sheep. But I feel like I dyed a sheep pink on here, other than the ones that I currently have at the farm, at the wool farm, even though it's not very effective. Does that mean 2D side scroller in space? What do you have? 13 minutes. 187 uses. Once I get less than 100 uses on the shovel, then I'll switch over to the netherite one. Space and planets. Alrighty. What's stopping you from playing it again? Alright, 110. I'll probably wrap up on this little section here. And then time to have fun. 93, close enough. That's it as I try to smooth out the corner. You can't access your GOG account. If he knows the password, what's stopping you from asking him? Alright, what I'll probably do, start tossing all that stuff for now, and the shovel. And huzzah! Whee! I'll just need to keep an eye out, because if I lose the shovel, this would be a terrible ending. It doesn't feel like a laser beam because I guess it functions as one. I was gonna make a reference to laser beams in mods, because I had flashbacks to my Yagnik mod pack for beta 1.7 and the laser beam weapon on there, and how this doesn't feel the same. What was kind of interesting about that was it turned sand into glass. It was pretty cool. I think it also cooked animals. Like, it would cook the pig bacon. Might have turned cobblestone into stone. Lighter blocks, it would just incinerate. but turning sand into glass was cool. But what was also cool was it would go through glass, which means you were able to turn large sections of a desert into glass. Go glass all the way down to sandstone. It was rather slow though because it was only semi-automatic. My inventory's full. Alright, let's go put this away. This is so much more fun than doing block, block, block. Toss all that. You know, here, maybe I'll put this in the ender chest instead. Wait, hold on. If this one's full. And boop. Alright, back to digging. I should probably collect everything I have down here first. That way I'll better gauge when my inventory fills up. And to make sure I don't miss anything. I feel like molten glass only looks odd because we're used to seeing refined glass, the final product, as intended. Alright, how are we doing on inventory space? We're getting there. Not full yet. I'm sure there's plenty of knowledge that can be gained learning about molten glass. I feel like there's a lot of small details that regular people would not consider unless they're in the business. My grandma, I believe, used to blow glass, create little objects. Vases and whatnot. I'm not surprised at that fact. The lawnmower motor has to be rather powerful. I should say rather powerful for its size. I think we're all good. Let me go toss the rest of this away. Oh, you know what? I forgot to take into account something with my shovel. You know what I didn't realize? This shovel has Unbreaking 3 on it. Each durability is not one sand use. Oops. I didn't think about that. Minor miscalculation. Well, that's okay. Probably. Sounds like quite a story there. Nom 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 nom. Alright, we're gonna head back already because I need to catch some Z's, reset the weather timer. Now I do kind of wish I brought the extra 3 shulker boxes. Well, too late. Alright, let's see, where was I? Let's try to find the sand on the floor. Somewhere off in this direction, I think. Maybe it was this right here. Is this what I was cleaning up? I don't particularly remember. I think it was. Alright, well, back to digging. Why do lawnmowers shooting rocks scare you? This is why whenever you use a lawnmower, you need to inspect the ground first for any rocks. I do it to make sure that the blade itself remains undamaged. I don't care about the projectile aspect. The knowledge of how lawnmower physics works isn't going to scare me from doing anything different from how I normally mow lawns. Let's say as if I mow multiple. These days, I only mow my own. Howdy, Henry, welcome back. At least you're not at the last 5 seconds. You get to stick around for a whole minute. Let's pick up all the sand here before I go picking up more. Every time the glass kept going, I feel like at some point it would not have been glass then. Hello. Look, there's another lake I didn't know existed. Man, we ran out of time for the day. Alright, well, if y'all have any final thoughts, start saying them now. I guess we'll keep on digging next time, because turns out there's still more to collect. I still have more space for sand, therefore more sand is what we're going to get. Alright, so that's close to being full. But not quite. So yeah, that's all it. We'll be back again maybe tomorrow. Can't guarantee that. Depends. Well, we'll see. If not, sometime later this week for sure. That's all it for today. Thank you all for watching. Bye.